Hi.
Right.
For our next show, we are flying eastwards to a country which is right on top of my must visit list, Japan. And the show is Giri Haji, which literally translates to duty shame.
Yeah, it's basically about this Japanese detective who's sent to London to bring back his younger brother. The younger brother who had ties with the Yakuza in Japan and who's possibly wanted for murder in the UK as well. And he leaves his family behind and is off to London, and then what happens?
Uh, this show essentially rides on the fantastic shoulders of Takeshiro Hira, who plays this Japanese detective, and is now moving, leaving his family behind, a wife with whom the relationships aren't that well, his ailing parents, and then, of course, there is this whole dynamic between the elder brother and younger brother. Here's a cop, the younger brother is a Yakuza mafia person. Reminds you of any Hindi movie? No? The plots are anything but similar though. So he has to now figure out how to bring him back without arousing the suspicions of the UK police as well. And there's a lot of pressure from the Japanese Yakuza family to get him back. Also in the picture is his very young, very spirited teenage daughter, who is excellently played by Aoi Okayuma. There is also a person he finds in London, Yoshiki Minato, who's playing this homosexual Asian guy who's been born and brought up in London, and there's a whole thread of stories around that. In Japan, there's a power struggle happening between the Yakuza, between different Yakuza families. Also, his boss is undergoing different changes of heart. His partner in back in Japan also has different things happening with him. And then he meets all sorts of interesting characters over there. So, for example, there is a mob boss in London who is into all things Japan, keeps samurai swords and everything. And now he is thinking, on the advice of Justin Long, who's his advisor, whether he can become a Yakuza boss back in Japan too. And we also have the reason why he's gone over there is to undergo detective training, though the classes are very junior compared to his seniority, and therefore it arouses the suspicions of the London police as well. And his teacher over there is Kelly MacDonald, whom obviously all of you have seen in multiple movies like Train Spotting, and even she's coming in the next, by the way, in the English remake of Call My Agent, Before Song, which we already reviewed. So lots happening over there, multiple threads, and now the best part, the entire show is one season and 8 episodes, and they managed to fit all of that within this.
Yeah, it was very nicely depicted. The dynamics between him, his family, and the daughter, the friends he makes in London, the underbelly of the UK, the criminal, sect, etc. So very well done, and Japanese. I mean, it was refreshing.
But the whole younger brother, older brother dynamic was just so similar to what Indian families are there. Who do the parents love more? Who has what kind of place of affection?
Exactly.
What about the daughter? Who does what is her game in this? Oh,
Exactly.
it was
The
fantastic.
dynamics were
And
very, very
the more you watch shows of different cultures, you realize similarities, I guess,
absolutely.
between places you thought
And how
were
they
very
deal with
different.
it, and it kind of strikes a chord somewhere. So yeah, all that happened, and we thoroughly enjoyed.
What do you
And
think?
I would give it an 8.
Okay.
I mean,
For me, I think because of the whole Japanese ethos,
right?
it just made it such a fascinating watch.
Yeah.
And I would probably end up with a 9, even though maybe I'm being a little bit generous because the ending is not
Yeah.
maybe as real as perfect, let's put it that way, as
Yeah.
you
They
would have
did
wanted.
something kind of different,
Yeah.
but it didn't settle in, sort of. It didn't.
So yeah, 8, 9, somewhere like that. Giri, Haji, Japan, enjoy.